Hey guys, it's Julian, and today I'm going to be making a Fisher style tech house track from scratch. So I'm going to just make like a loop, but basically I wanted to try something a little bit different. So a lot of times on here, I will just sort of like prepare some samples of my own and then kind of put something together, or put something together and then kind of break down how I did it using my own samples. But today I want to just go and do it the way that I would make a tech house track, which is just, getting samples from sample packs, kind of like trying different things that way, obviously making my own sounds as well. But yeah, just kind of like a more free process. And then I figured whatever I come up with, I will give you guys for free in the description. So make sure to check that out. It's available right now. But yeah, I just wanted to try this because I get a lot of questions about stuff like this, and I figured, what better way to do it than by showing it. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to start out, we're going to go to like 125 BPM, and we're going to get a kick. So I'm going to start with maybe something like this. All right, let's use this kick. Okay, we can check the tuning. It's in G. That makes things pretty easy, actually. It's kind of jumping all over, but it's in G. So we'll just take that and we'll just put in some quarter notes. And then let's make actually an 8-bar loop. There we go. Cool, sounds pretty good. And then let's put a little bit of drum bus on that just to kind of beef it up a bit. Awesome. So from there, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a bass. I usually like to start with the bass and the drum and the kick. Like those are the two most really like quote unquote foundational sort of like elemental things in the style. So you definitely want to start with those and not just like start with like a melodic loop or something like that. So let's take this. I'm gonna make a bass using operator. Usually like FM sounds are really good for this style because you can make like these kind of basses where it's like, it's still kind of siney, and it's got like that really like deep feel to it. But you can also hear it really well, and it has like this, I don't know, it just has a really, really good quick character to it, I feel like, for this style. So let's take this, we'll put in some notes. Yeah, there we go. Just something kind of simple and bouncy. You can see we've got a bit of swing as well going on, and we will get this perfectly on the grid. There we go. But yeah, you can see like I've taken the 16 notes and kind of swung them. I've also got none of the notes touching each other. So that's another thing. If we put on legato here, you'll hear it doesn't really have as much groove as this. And we can maybe make these a little bit longer. So that's cool. And we'll make these a bit longer as well. Usually like I kind of write it in and then I refine it, right? Awesome. Sounds good. Let's get rid of that audio track and these two. And then we'll drag that out. Cool. And then I'm going to fatten this up a little bit. Let's put some drum bus on the bass. There we go. And let's sidechain into the kick as well. Sounds good. And then let's get one more thing on here, which is I'm going to get an EQ8 and just kind of cut out around like 100 hertz because this is really where the punch of the kick is. Like if I put a spectrum on here, you will see. The kick is really happening mostly around this range. And so if we have the bass also playing in that range, it's going to make it kind of messy because it's going to be clashing with the kick. But if we kind of clean that up a little bit on the bass and then maybe boost the low end a little bit, we can make the bass a lot cleaner and kind of like carve out space for both of them. And there we go. And then let's group these together as well. You know, you want to group together kind of like your similar things. Like I'm going to do this with the percussion when I have it as well. But just taking like the kick and the bass and grouping them together, or like all the percussion, like I said, like it really helps to make your sounds a lot more cohesive. So let's put some saturation on the group here. There we go. You can hear really fattens those up. And then one more thing is I'm going to put an EQ8 on here, and we're going to just cut out around like 250 hertz. 240 is good as well. Just really in that range. And then we're going to give it a bit of a low-end boost and then a bit of a high-end boost as well. As you can hear, that just kind of opens it up a bit. Cool. Well, this is sounding pretty good. Next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to get some hi-hats. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start with the open hi-hat, basically the one that's playing on the upbeat. Let's take this one. And like I said, it's going to be playing on the upbeat, so we will just do this. Put that up a semitone. Cool, and then we'll get the closed hi-hat as well. I like these kind of like shakery sounds. That sounds good. And then I'm also going to make a hi-hat really quick, actually, just for like this one part. We're basically just going to take operator here. We'll just switch it to white noise, shorten the envelope a bit. All right, sounds pretty fire. And then let's put that through a bandpass filter. And now we have a nice little hi-hat that we can use. And yeah, this is just kind of like, you know, I want to have two hi-hats, so I figured can't take every sound from a sample pack. Cool, and then I'm going to get one more in here, because we're going to take out this note. And then we're going to get one more hi-hat. And for this, I'm going to use a sample. You know, I like just kind of like combining a lot of different textures and a lot of different types of sounds. Like, you can't really just take your sounds from a sample pack, and you can't really just take your sounds, you know, from synthesizing them yourself. You have to kind of like... There we go. We'll shorten that a little bit with the envelope. You know, you have to do your own thing. You have to, like, take sounds from all different places and just kind of get sounds that fit together well. Cool. So let's get that. We'll do, like, that. Swing those a little, and let's hear what that sounds like. There we go. Awesome. Sounds good. So, next thing we're going to do here is we're going to get a clap. Just going to pull one out of here as well. Like, just like a nice kind of, let's layer some together. So I'm going to get this one. And what we're going to do is this one's going to play a little bit, like we're going to put it on here. On the 2 and the 4 real quick. There we go. And then we're going to move it back a little bit because you can hear in the sample there's like this little part. Basically this, that's like the actual hit. But then there's like that little thing going into it. So if we move this back a little. There we go. We kind of get like a little going into the clap as opposed to just having it hit right on the 2 and the 4. But we can move that back a little. You have to kind of finesse it. There we go. Cool, and that's going to make a big difference. So the next thing we're going to do is get a clap, like a more cracky kind of standard clap. That one is perfect. And then we'll just put this in here. And then this one it's just going to be right on the 2 and the 4. This one won't be moved back. But if you listen to these together now, we're clipping a little bit, so I'm going to turn them all down. There we go. You can hear we have a much better clap sound because it's not just this on its own. We have that little one kind of going into it. Now, I'm going to actually try a different clap sound for the main one, but you can basically get the point here, like what's going on. And this is something I noticed actually in a lot of Fisher's music. Like, the thing about it is like, say what you will about it, like it's simple or it's boring or whatever. It's very well produced. Like, there's a lot of things in there that are done that I think really, like a lot of small details like this, like these claps, for example. Like, I noticed this in Yeah Kidding, Yeah Didn't, like those tracks. And even in Losing It, he has claps like this, where it's like, it's not just like the simple just clap on the 2 and the 4. It's like adding something to it to make it a bit more creative. And this is the stuff that I think is important. And this is also like when people hear like simple music and say, oh, it's so simple, like there's more to it. And these are the kinds of things you need to know how to do. So cool, we're going to group those together, kind of saturate them together a little. Yeah, there we go. Cool, and then let's take all the percussion and group it together. We're going to put a little bit of a low cut on here. There we go, and then we're also going to put a bit of drum bass actually going into that. Cool, sounding pretty good. So then I'll name this low end bus, and we'll name this one percussion bus. Cool. The last thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to just make like some kind of a synth sound. Basically, I'm going to just play around with, I actually want to use wavetable for this. I want to make something, I'll kind of show you what I mean. Like, I want to make something kind of like a super saw type of sound. Like, you actually hear this sound in a lot of Fisher's tracks. Like a super saw type of sound, but just a little bit more interesting. I'll show you what I mean. It's going to be more like rhythmic. So we'll get a saw wave here. And then we're going to give it like this kind of envelope, like a really quick sort of pluck like that. Then we can turn up this unison here to get the super saw. Cool, and then let's put a few effects on here. I'm gonna grab this side chain from the kick or from the bass, and let's put a bit of some echo on there. Maybe a bit of reverb after the echo as well. Yeah, there we go. Cool, and then one more thing just to fatten it up a little bit. Let's put some drum bass on there after the reverb and the echo. I like putting like saturation and the kind of like texturing effects. Woo, there we go. After the reverb and delay, because you know I want that texture on my reverb and my delay. But cool, so let's make like a little pattern here. Yeah, there we go. Then we could do like something like this. Like I'll play with some triplets. Yeah, there we go. That's cool. Turn off the triple grade. Maybe we'll pitch this down an octave. Let's hear it. I get some EQ and cut up the low end. Let's make this one a 16th note and give it some swing. Nice. And the reason also why we don't have to go as crazy, actually I don't have this swing at all. The reason why we don't have to use any swing on this wavetable sound is just because since there's some attack already on the synth, it's already kind of being pushed back a little bit in the groove. So yeah. Awesome. Well, this sounds pretty good. Let's just listen to this whole little 8-bar loop we just made. Great. Well, sounds pretty cool to me. I believe now that we made this, that is going to be it for this one, guys. So I hope you enjoyed very much. Like I said, just wanted to do something a little bit different where I kind of go through, maybe use a few sample packs. Like, I don't really think sample packs are bad. Like, a lot of people do kind of talk smack about sample packs, but, like, should be told, you need sample packs. Like, to make music, like, you're not just going to go out and, like, record every sound yourself and just be able to turn it into this masterpiece. Like, maybe some people can do that, but I think that's kind of like an unrealistic goal. And if you set an unrealistic goal like that for yourself, you're going to end up getting discouraged a lot faster with your production versus like people who just kind of embrace, like myself, you know, okay, we're going to use sample packs, you know, maybe we're going to use a little bit of stuff from other people, but it's okay because it's still your original track, your original idea, and your original vision. So, on that note, like I said, that's it for today, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. As usual, you can get the project files, samples, MIDI, presets, all the stuff that I made today for free in the description, so make sure to check for that. And if you're a patron on my Patreon, check there because it will be available shortly without a download gate. Thank you so much, everybody. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. Hit that little notification bell. Let me know what you think of this video in the comments as well. Let me know who you want to see me do a video on next. I'm totally open to your suggestions. Thank you so much, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow with another video.